Hello and welcome to the next episode of the Nobody Asked for This podcast. I will be honest, we're doing another on-the-go episode via the car. I did some math really quickly earlier and was like, okay, I have to get the Nobody Asked for This podcast up in 4 hours. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to be doing this, and then I realized, okay, the only time I have to do that is now. Unless I want to go to sleep at midnight, which I don't really feel like doing anymore, you know? I used to be, procrastinator central. Like, we started the assignment at 10:30 p.m. and it was due at 11:59, and I would just sort of figure it out, kind of, maybe. I've sort of left that lifestyle behind, so I'm going to do it now. I hope everybody had a great week. What did we talk about last week? Let me remember. I can't say I necessarily recall a lot of the Nobody Asked for This podcast. I would actually be interested to go back and see, listen to an episode from a year ago and see if I, not obviously remember the words, but, to see if I even could tell you, what the topic was. I feel like I couldn't. I think I just sort of word diarrhea, vomit it out, and then move on with my life. Well, now that I've already said the word diarrhea, I can check that box off of the to-do list. I don't think any months have ended since we've last spoke, although we are about halfway through May. That makes no sense to me. I almost feel like once a month starts, I spend the first 2 weeks of the month saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's already, January. I can't believe it's already May. And then I spend that kind of middle week being like, how are we halfway through May? That is nuts. That is crazy. And then I spend the last week being like, how is it already over? And then that just cycle repeats. So really, we're in a time warp of sorts, I believe. I don't know how we get out of it. I don't know how to stop it. I just know that it's happening. But what have I been up to? Oh, I did something kind of weird today. So I had this whole big plan. You know me and my plans. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But I had decided that I was going to get up and make dinner before I go to work, so that it's all ready to go. So of course I wake up with half of the time that I would have wanted, and then half of the time that it actually takes me. Because here's the thing. I wouldn't say I'm a good cook, but I can prepare things. I can prepare a sweet potato. I can prepare, a chicken breast in the air fryer. But I can't really make meals that are you'll feel the whisper of cardamom, when you eat it. I don't throw things together in a way that you're eating one thing, but I can have a plate that's eating multiple things. Do you know the plate that they give toddlers who don't want their food touching? Most of my meals could exist on that plate, not because I'm picky. I love a full meal with a sauce and a dip, but I just, for whatever reason, the idea of cooking that to that level is a bit much. I've started to do bowls, so as opposed to having a chicken breast, a thing of broccoli, and then a baked sweet potato, I'll do cut up sweet potato with cut up chicken breast and smaller broccoli in a bowl with a sauce, because I do love sauce. I love a hummus or whatever. And then I season everything really well. I'm not eating bland chicken, I promise. I would never. That's just not me. But again, not detailed layered flavors. I don't know if I'm making any sense. All of that to say, I did not have the time that it would take to make the air fryer, the proper way, the way the Lord intended, in the air fryer. So I'm going to be honest. This is a truth moment. I need you to not judge me. I need to be able to share my truth and know that this is a safe space. I microwaved it. I Googled very quickly, how do you microwave a sweet potato? I mean, I understand the concept, you put it in the microwave and click start. I get it. But what I didn't know, it was like the details of how does this work. Because I know when you put it in the air fryer, you just sort of like poke holes, you know, put some oil, salt, pepper, put it in the thing. I sort of make up the time. I've never actually read a recipe for air frying. I just sort of like whatever setting my temperature thing is naturally on is sort of what I'm putting my, you know, food in at, like whatever temperature. Also, my air fryer for whatever reason is in Celsius, which makes sense, I guess, because I'm in, you know, Canada, where we use Celsius, but we actually use Fahrenheit for oven temperatures. Like no, even if you buy a box cakes mix, like it'll tell you like what temperature in Fahrenheit. It'll say Celsius as well, but like no one's doing that conversion. But like if you want to know how cold it is outside, we do Celsius. It's very confusing. We also like, I would never know like how many meters I am. Like I would only know it in feet or what is it? Yeah, in feet. But like technically that's like not the metric system which we use. So we kind of dip back and forth. I would say we're very, what is that called? Flexible. We're flexible. Which is also my cooking skills. Very loosey-goosey. So I did Google, in fact, how to bake or microwave a sweet potato, and I mean minutes later it was done. And in between the beginning and the end, I did have to wet a damp paper towel and wrap the sweet potato up, and then I did put it on a plate. I wasn't sure about the plate. I was like, do I put it on a plate? Do I just throw it in? Apparently you could put it on a plate. Some reviewers had said that you don't need to put it on a plate. So I went for the plate, and I just, you know, shoved it in there. I think I did about 6 minutes. It was perfect. It wasn't a huge sweet potato. And now I get to go home to a crispy, essentially like radiation ball of sweet potato. How bad is the microwave for you? Like I've heard rumors, obviously. Like I've heard horror stories, I've heard terrible things. But like, is it actually that bad for you? Because I've also heard like every 6 months. Am I screaming? When I do these car episodes, it's hard to tell because like I do have to speak louder because there are freeway noises around me. And I obviously kind of want to shine through and be the star of the show. Although a little bit of ASMR, like from the speeding cars around me, maybe will put us in another category, which might, you know, shoot us to the top of the charts. I don't know. But anyway, back to the potato. Yeah, I don't know how bad the microwave actually is for you. Like, are we being dramatic? Because like I was about to say, every 6 months I read an article about whatever sweetener, whatever good stuff they put in Diet Coke. Some months it's terrible for you, it's poison, it's like bleach, like it's terrible, never touch it, which I'm sure is the truth. Like, I don't think a nutritionist is ever going to tell you, like, yeah, everyone should be drinking more Diet Coke. But like, is it so bad? Like, because the argument for it not being so bad is like, yes, the chemicals they put in it are horrible, but like there's not enough of those chemicals in the Diet Coke to like actually do anything. Now, the people writing these articles do not know how much Diet Coke I drink. I will say, I've been a lot better recently. I don't think I've ever been, I definitely don't drink the most Diet Coke out of any human on the planet. Like, I know there are people who, like, that is their main caffeine source. They get up in the morning and go to 7-Eleven. I had a professor like that in university who, like, every morning, without fail, double big gulp, which they don't even sell here anymore. I don't know if they've discontinued that in all countries, but in Canada, you can't get, like, do you know how there's, like, the clear cups? And then there's, like, the double gulp, which is, like, the really thick, like, movie theater level soda fountain soda cup that, like, it's like the Wicked version or like the Fast and Furious version, like the one where you have to pay extra because it's themed, not just like the regular old plastic one that they give you for free, which I feel like nothing is free at the movies anymore. Like, don't get me started on how popcorn is $30. What the heck? I can't. There's some issues I can fix. There's some I can just, like, comment on. There's no fixing that. I think we're too far gone. At least there's something I can do about it. If anyone has some suggestions or like a petition I could sign, or like even an explanation, I actually think that might help some of these. Like there should be like price transparency. Like I get, not the stock market. What's it called? Not the stock exchange. What is that called? During COVID it was messed up. The supply chain. I get like supply chain issues, supply and demand, like. That's okay, but I think at the grocery store, anytime there's a price, like the price tag, you should be able to flip that around and just see an explanation. Like, I want to see a breakdown of like, we had to pay this amount for this and this amount for this, which means, therefore, this cost us this, and that's why we are charging you this. Because obviously, like, I get it. Brands, like, you have to make a profit. You can't just be giving away for free. I mean, that would be nice, but then every company would be a charity and no one would make any money. So, like, I understand, like, having a little bit of a margin. I wish it was smaller, I wish we weren't paying so much for... I feel like eggs are the thing people always go to. I don't really buy eggs because I'm not a huge egg person, but, like, why is my peanut butter... Like, you can buy a jar of peanut butter, like the fancier peanut butters. Maybe not peanut, but, like, a fancy nut butter. That's, like, upwards of $20. Why is that the case? Like, show me. Explain to me. Even lie to me, honestly. Like, don't even tell me the truth. But, like, I just want to see a pie graph of, like, the percentage of this cost goes to, like, our walnut supply. Our walnut fund. And then, we have to upcharge $3 because the machine... Like, I think that, honestly, that would help things. If there was just a little bit of transparency into these prices. Because otherwise, I feel like... Because everything is so expensive now, or is getting so expensive, or was so expensive, or whatever, I actually think they're just like making up prices just to see if we'll pay it. It's kind of like how like a large drink at Starbucks is like $9. Like you don't even have to add to be able to spend $9 on one drink. You used to have to add like shots of this, pumps of that, whip, upsize the cup, like all of it. Now like. As the mermaid intended, the prices are $9. Like, just getting basic base model, isn't that for cars? Like, it's insane, $9. But again, if they want to send me, like, an Excel sheet of, like, how it got to $9, maybe I would feel a little bit better spending the $9. Because, let's be honest, I'm going to be spending the $9. If I can swing it. Actually, at Starbucks I don't, because I just get, like, plain coffee. Thank God. God knew I was going to be, he did me a favor when he gave me, not the best taste buds, because like I don't really need to be spending money on, the unicorn frappuccino when I am just as happy with like a black iced coffee, which, by the way, like should be 50 cents. Like, I think I pay like $5 for just like literally coffee that has been iced. I don't think it cost them $5 to make a big batch of coffee, that has been iced for $5. Like, there's just no way. So again, just an explanation. Charge whatever you want to charge. Like, that is I guess you're right. I mean, there's got to be laws around it, no? Because I was reading how, like, inflation is at, like, a certain percentage, but, like, if you look at the prices from a couple years ago to the prices now, like it's like triple, quadruple that percentage. I don't remember the exact numbers. I'm only so smart, as I'm sure you can tell. My intelligence has its limits, if we're being honest. But anyway, not to get all fancy in talking about the economy, of which I have no idea. But yeah, it's wild. It's about to be summer. Because as you know, I consider June 1st the start of summer. I know there's like rumors that it actually starts. I think I've said rumors 19 times during this episode. I know there's rumors that summer actually starts like a few weeks into June. I don't really buy that. Like, I think it starts June 1st. And then goes till August 31st. Like, September being summer just doesn't sit right with me. But there's nothing I can do about it except just completely change the rules for my own self and live accordingly. And then preach it on my podcast in the hopes that, I'm really starting something here. You know what? I recently realized, and I was looking at just right now, looking at the reflection of my car onto the road, and it looks like Shrek. And I realized, if you asked me like what one of my favorite movies ever was, I would tell you Freaky Friday. Now, if you asked me a few more times, like, list some of your favorite movies, I would tell you Shrek 2. Because it is. Shrek 2, everyone knows. I mean, Shrek 1 is like, there's no touching Shrek 1. But like, Shrek 2, like, there's an argument for it being better. And I've always thought that and believed that, kind of just like in my gut, in my soul. And then I realized, someone asked me like, oh yeah, what's the plot of Shrek 2? And I was like, yeah, the plot of Shrek 2, I could obviously tell you that like it's one of my favorite movies. The plot of Shrek 2 is... And then I realized I actually don't know. Yet I walk around saying it's one of my favorite movies. I was able to sort of remember certain scenes and then sort of put it together. But like, I actually can't tell you the main conflict of Shrek 2, even though I would call it one of my favorite movies. So that's sort of the deck of cards I'm working with. I don't know why I felt the need to share that, but I just thought it was funny. Also, I think it's time. Like, I can't believe I'm saying this because Shrek is my world, but like, I'm gonna give it a rewatch. But Shrek 4, I don't know that we needed it. I'm gonna say it. In my head, it's always been 1, 2, and 3. All good, all classics. That whole like Rumpelstiltskin narrative. But then I don't know that I could tell you the plot of Shrek 3. So what I think I'm learning from all of this is I just need to go back and watch these movies. So maybe instead of speaking on, Shrek prematurely, I'll hold back for now and then rewatch the movies and then come back with like a more in-depth analysis of why I do or dislike, do or don't dislike, or like to be or not to be each installment of the Shrek franchise, because they have told us there is another movie coming, but I don't think it's coming till like Christmas of next year. Now, why they announced stuff so early? Something else happened. They announced something for like a year and a half from now. I think it was like a book or something. Like, I don't need to know. I don't need, like, what do you think I possibly need to do to prepare, 2 years in advance for a Shrek movie? Yeah, I might need a couple weeks in advance to prepare and like, get my Shrek ears and all of that, like pre-order my tickets. So like, fine, yeah, tell us like, hey, this movie's coming out in 6 months. I get you have to do like the build up. We have to start seeing, all these people going on Oprah and talking about this movie and how it like changed their lives. Like, I get it. There's a business happening here. But like, to have to tell us 6 months in advance, 2 years in advance that we're getting another Shrek only makes me more impatient. If I'm being honest, it makes me not want to wait any longer for the new Shrek. Like, I want it now. But I'm also sort of like impatient a little bit, if that didn't come across. Anyway, what's happening this summer? Oh, there's some like dark storm clouds. Oh, I think I made a wrong turn. Whoops. Do you ever like just have your routine? Like, you get off at a certain exit and then you're not supposed to get off at that exit, but then you get off at that exit because it's just like what you do. That's sort of what happened with me just now. I don't do this too often, but I hear rumors. Again, just talking about rumors here. I hear rumors of apparently people, like, if you drive the same route consistently enough, you get to a point where like you're kind of on autopilot, quite literally. So much so that like you can have driven like all the way to work and you don't remember how you got there. Now that is terrifying to me. I think I'm a little bit too cautious still to get to that point, luckily. But I could definitely get there because I'm a little bit spacey. I'm kind of always thinking about something. I mean, I think anyone that could click record on their phone and then just talk for half an hour having had nothing planned, like, obviously is someone who talks to themselves, which you can get caught up in. I definitely find myself, oh, they renovated that KFC. I definitely find myself just sort of speaking, like having a dialogue. I basically do the Nobody Asked for This podcast constantly. It's just, I'm not always recording it. Oh, Tim Hortons has a new scrambled egg breakfast box. That's very interesting. But yeah, anyway, if you are someone you love, find yourself in a position where you have driven somewhere and don't remember how you got there, that's a yikes. But I mean, just everyone be safe. However you need to drive safely, just you do that, okay? And we'll all be fine. What else? I don't know. I'm kind of fascinated by that scrambled egg thing. You know, Tim Hortons. Anyone who doesn't know, Tim Hortons, I do believe they have locations in other countries. They used to be like Canada strong, Canada proud. It's the one fast food chain where like their social media, like the Canadian version of their social media doesn't have the word Canada in the title. Like the baseline is the Canadian one, and then every other country it's like Tim Hortons US or Tim Hortons Brazil or Tim Hortons UK, because they do have it. I went to London last year, and I hopped off the plane at LAX or whatever the airport's called with a dream in my cardigan. It was July, so I didn't have a cardigan, but I hopped off the plane, and like the first thing I saw was a Tim Hortons, and I thought, listen, the more the more you run, the closer you get, or whatever that saying is. That's not a saying. Shakespeare definitely didn't say that. But regardless, I thought that was quite funny. Anyone who doesn't know, Tim Hortons, it's like it would be like the equivalent of a Dunkin' Donuts in America, but like in Canada. If anyone has the answer to this, let me know. But like, where do their donuts come from? I refuse to believe they're like in the back. Like I've looked back there, something I enjoy doing, which makes me sound like an annoying customer, but I truly do it out of like curiosity. I'm not trying to like catch anybody doing anything. But like when I'm in if I'm in the line and if the line's long at a fast food place, like I'll just peek back there, see like what kind of fryers they have, what the setup is. I never worked in like a restaurant environment or anything, so it is fascinating to me to see like, where the food is coming from. So I peeked back there. I don't see like donut machines. So Tim Hortons, how are you getting your donuts? Also, isn't your slogan like always fresh? So is it always fresh from the freezer? Is that the Tim Hortons slogan? Always fresh, always Tim Hortons. Well, always Tim Hortons was a nice save. Like, that's true. Anything you get from there is Tim Hortons. But like, I don't know that you're making those donuts back there. Now, I just want transparency. Like, tell me, listen, we don't make the donuts here. The donuts are made in Halifax, and they come on a truck, frozen, and then we thaw them freshly from the freezer. Like, that I accept, because they're delicious. A maple glazed donut from Tim Hortons is delicious. The honey cruller is delicious. The limited edition walnut crunch, delicious. A sour cream glazed Timbit, which is like a donut hole for anyone who doesn't know, is delicious. Like, I'm for all of this stuff, but like, how do you get here? Because you go to Krispy Kreme, I feel like I'm still screaming, but I'm off the freeway. You go to Krispy Kreme and you see donuts being made. Now, whether or not all of the donuts they sell are the donuts they make, I don't know. I feel like maybe they make a batch like once every couple hours, and then I'm thinking I'm eating a fresh donut, but really this one was made on the same, it came from the same Halifax truck as the Tim Hortons ones. Again, I don't know. I'm not a donut expert. I would like to be, and if that job is available, I would love to apply. Send me the Indeed posting. But in the meantime, I just want to know, like, how are these donuts happening? Because I also don't see, like, huge, what is that called? Like, cryogenic chamber freezer things in Tim Hortons either. So, like, maybe, like, do we think they Do you think they're able to call them fresh? Because what probably happens is they buy them frozen, but then bake them frozen. Like, there's a difference between, like, baking something from frozen and then just kind of letting it thaw. I would like to know, because this is a mobile episode of the Nobody Asked For This podcast, I'm not really able to lean on my co-host, which is Google, but I'm in a parking lot now where all great episodes are made. So let's see here. Let's do this. What was I trying to Google? Oh. Where do Tim Hortons donuts come from? Where do farts go? Okay. AI Google told me Tim Hortons donuts are primarily sourced from Maidstone Bakery in Brantford, Ontario. The bakery uses a par-bake method where the donuts are partially baked, flash frozen, and then shipped to Tim Hortons locations. Oh. Okay, so it's kind of both. They do bake them there. They finish the job there, but the job starts in Halifax. So they're able to say this is like a fresh baked donut. Because they did freshly bake it, but they just freshly they freshly baked it from frozen. Okay. See, I can live with that. Transparency, that's all we ask. So anyway, everyone go to Tim Hortons to try the new egg thing. Use code Nobody Asked For This for no % off. And the world will keep on spinning. I'm going to be honest, I just quickly ran into a store, speaking of prices, and I bought something from a sale rack called cacao nibs. I don't know what that is, but they looked interesting to me. So I will do a full breakdown review situation coming up. Not now, probably in the next episode of the Nobody Asked This podcast. Where am I going? I did it again. I'm just taking turns left and right. Okay, no, I think I know where I am. Truly nothing like getting lost in your own neighborhood. I actually think that could be the name of my memoir. That might be it. Lost in my own neighborhood. I also think, road closed. Great. I also think do not enter. Amazing. Yikes. Okay. I also think that would be a perfect, like, in illegible cursive written down, like, get lost in your own neighborhood. Like, for sure someone has said that before, meaning to be, like, fancy, you know? Can I get out this way? Not my fault the road was closed. Oh, I love driving by a middle school or, like, a new school that, like, you had no idea existed. I do that a lot. I also like to wonder, like, how many people away am I from having a middle school, or I don't know why I keep going middle school, but having a school named after me. Like, I'm sure everyone that actually has that honor, like, earned it and everything. Like, I get it. I'm not knocking anyone. But at some point they're gonna run out of people, no? So, like, why not me? I'm gonna start coming at it from that angle. Why not me? Anyway, I'm gonna go home and eat my dinner that I made roughly 12 hours ago. It's a falafel, sweet potato, broccoli situation, and I did just have a little taste of the sweet potato, and I had a little taste of the broccoli. Or no, oh my gosh, I had a little taste of the falafel, and I have smelled like garlic every minute since, so I can't imagine what I'm gonna smell like when I have, like, an actual, like, not even the full burger, but like a bite. So I'm gonna go do that. I hope you all have a splendid evening. If you like what you heard, you can go to podcast nobodyaskforthis.podbean.com. And on there you can find links to our iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all of that. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen. If you have, I'm gonna go eat the corn Chex that I just bought. I'm really looking for peanut butter Chex, but like I can't find them anywhere. I swear they were a thing. Google tells me they are a thing. I can't find them anywhere. Maybe they only sell them in Fahrenheit. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna go. Take care, and I'll see you next week. Bye.